Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the round of 16. The round of 16 here of the Sparkling Tuna Cup, the STC number 122. Your weekly dose of open StarCraft. We are here, we are back, we are live, and I do apologize for the break that we did have. I hope you enjoyed the brutal OOC nonetheless, as we had to wait for the round of 32 match to conclude, and now we are here. We are here, we have arrived, we have returned, and we have our PvT spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Winter Madness. We have the South Korean Terran player, we have the Red Terran. It is Percival. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the blue Protoss player representing Team Quasar. It is Art. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are now open. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we get into our PvT. Art was hyper aggressive last series. We saw in game 1 he was able to pop off, able to break his opponent early on when it came to the Stalker regression into Storm timing. Game 2, we saw that Art did go into Glaive Adepts. Glaive Adepts then into a 3-race push with Sentry Immortal and was able to break Thrifax early on. We'll see if that aggression translates here to PvT as well, or if Art takes a different approach. First things first, Percival comes in for the attempted eBay block. Art is already on the low ground and he sees SV. Yeah, he does confirm, and he will deny the block. eBay gets thrown down, boys are being pulled, and Art, he will defend. Now, the purpose here and what typically happens, if the probe wasn't scouting on the low ground, then Percival would have progressed with the eBay, would have gotten up to like 50% HP, then Percival can head on over, patrol over at the third location and force the low ground expansion instead. So you can force the low ground base out of the Protoss player, and then bam, you can all in, or you can be aggressive and you can punish the Protoss for being in a very awkward position. But thankfully, Art does scout, he does confirm, he does shut it down, and he will expand on location at the natural. So again, very fortunate there for Art, having the wherewithal to scout the low ground. Meanwhile, Percival back at home, going for his own racks into CC. But remember, the CC is a little bit delayed because of the eBay. So there's a bit of a give and take here. And we do see the Percival in the end. I mean, his build is going to be a little bit off as a result. That's why he does have the CC on the high ground to keep it safe. Oh, hello. That's going to be a Rax expand into a second Rax. Now, this can lead into a couple of different things. This can lead into a 2-1-1 or into a 3 Rax follow-up, and we could even go one step further and go into a 4 Rax 2-base all-in. So we'll keep an eye on Percival. Regardless, we're going for a very strong stint timing, right? Delayed factory, delayed starport, a heavy Raxes, early tech lab, early stim, combat shields, a heavy timing here out of Percival. You can turn this into a 2-base all-in. We'll see how committed Percival is going to be. Meanwhile, back at home, we do see the Reaper poke in, getting eyes on the eventual tech. As Art will soon throw one down. I thought that was a misclick, unfortunately. Unfortunately, hallucinates one of the slowest units you can hallucinate, so very limited scouting. The Reaper does confirm as well. Does get eyes on the Disruptor. That was unfortunate. Now, that might actually kill Art, by the way. Like, I know we're poking fun. It's like, that feels bad, man. At the same time, remember, Percival's going for a 3-Rax. He's going for an early sim timing. This should be being scouted by the hallucination. The Phoenix should be in the main right now, and Art has zero vision of the main base. He was meant to. This Disruptor was supposed to be a Phoenix, was supposed to give him information, and now he has nothing. So Art is playing blind. It's very, very unfortunate. Behind this, he's going for a 3-gate opener, relatively safe build, but he needs to know what he's up against to be able to engage ahead of time. He has to force out early stims, he has to pick away at the Marines, he has to slow down the push before he gets across the map. But he doesn't know there's a push coming, and here comes the hallucination, and the Reaper confirms it. Now, Percival, he does see the hallucination, he's moving into intercept. Oh no. And with that, can he catch out the Phoenix? Can he catch him? He can. Does start step in, and the Phoenix goes down. Massive pickoff once again. Art, he sees nothing. He sees nothing in the main. Oh no. Not like this. Feels disruptive, man. Seeing that this many Marines this early is a bit of a tell. No, this could be a 2-on-1, right? It's like, so for all he knows, it could be a 2-on-1, it could be a 3-ax, it could be 3cc 3-ax. There is still, it could be a 4-ax 2-base all in. There's still like maybe we pull the boys. Yeah, we're gonna pull the boys as well. So Art has an idea as to what it is, but there are like what 3, 4, 5 different builds it still could be without seeing the main base. And here we go. The army's revealed. We're still holding onto the stim. The boys are here to kill. Yeah, does dive, and the Stalker's getting one. Blink is not yet done. Yeah, Blink isn't complete. Still finishing up. And Percival is just going for the kill. Going for the kill. Going for the throw. Going for the Artosis Pylon. No! Pylon goes down. Depowers the shield battery. Boys are being pulled. Blink finishing up in 4 seconds. Yeah, until then, those Stalkers are getting picked up. That's going to be another 2, 3 Stalkers going down. Oof. Tries to blink over. And these are hefty losses here for Art. Losing 13 probes. How many? 13 probes and 7 Stalkers. Behind this, Percival is ahead economically. He did pull the boys, but remember, he killed so many workers here across the map. So Percival's economy is still strong. Oh no! Catching out 2 Stalkers. Gets 1. Yeah, GG. GG gets called, and Percival takes game number 1. Ay, ay, ay. GG, well played with that. Percival, he does take a lead in the series, and unfortunately Art, he just had no vision, no scouting. That first hallucinated disruptor was brutal. It was again, it was a mistake, it was not intentional, and it delayed the scouts, and eventually there was 0 scouting information. I say 0 scouting, as was mentioned previously, did see an excess of Marines, which is a bit of a tell, but as I mentioned before, there are still, it could have been still a greedier build. It could have been 3cc 3-ax, it could have been an earlier 2-on-1, we could have been more committed, less committed. Again, still limited information there for Art, and back at home he was woefully underprepared. Oof. And here we go. Here we go. We're now going to be getting into game number 2, and we'll see if Art can bring it back. We'll see if Percival can close it out. Let's go. Alright, let's go. And spawning in the right corner of Tourmaline, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the Red Terran in the series 1-0, and we'll see if we can close it out here and now. It is Percival. Spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the Blue Protoss, the Blue Protoss player himself, representing Quasar. It is Art. Let's go. Let us go. Hello, Esther Percival. I don't know if you noticed, but he did set a rally here towards the 3rd base location. SCV is moving out across the map as we speak. So eyes are on Percival here, as it looks like he may go for another eBay block. He did attempt so in game 1 and failed to do so. But this time we have an earlier probe scout out of Art, which means this time there should not be a worker on the low ground. Sends out a second SCV. Never mind, this is more committed. He's having fun. He's having fun. No eBay block. He sends out 1, 2 SCVs. He's got 1 Rax back at home to make it look standard. And he's proxying another 2. Oh boy. So we do have our 3-ax Reaper here. I'm assuming Reaper just because gas has been taken. So Reapers can be sent across the map. Oh boy. We do see Art, he pokes in, he tries to get vision, he sees a standard opener for, he knows there should be a CC on the low ground, he should be on patrol on the low ground as well. Hopefully he goes back into the main and confirms that nothing's being built, but he's gonna be denied that. Yeah, he'll be denied the scouts. There's a depot, full wall off here at the ramp, which means Art, he sees nothing. For all he knows, there could be a CC further back. Oh boy. So this is dangerous. Currently, Art, there's nothing that's really ringing alarm bells when it comes to responding and reacting. So there's no early zealots. There's no early unit. Reapers are building up. He's scouting though. He has a wherewithal. He does scout. He does confirm both Raxes. He sees. He sees. He knows. And now we need a battery. We need a battery in the main. We need a battery at the natural. We need to set up. There's that first battery. I'm hoping we get a safety battery in the main base as well. He's getting 2 batteries at the natural. Oh. Did he think this was Marauder? No, he saw the positioning though. Yeah, he saw the positioning. He knows that there are no add-ons. I mean, Reapers, of course, are now revealed. And Reapers, they can just bypass that natural expansion. There we go. Okay, battery in the mineral line. It's going to be later, but it's on the way. Meanwhile, we're building up in towards 4 Reapers. And we do see that Percival, he's he's floating back home. But he's transitioning. The factory's on the way. That's what's important. We do have the factory in production. Percival, he will expand, I'm assuming. Yep, there it is. Going for a CC. And this is a really awkward position now for Percival. He can no longer find damage. The batteries are now up and running. And Percival's in a very rough position here. His base is so heavily delayed. My assumption here is he turns this into a 2-base all-in, right? Like, Percival, he's not out of this by any means. He does now have other options ahead of him, but I feel like it should be an all-in here. I feel like macroing up and trying to catch up with Art from this position is going to be very difficult. We'll see what he goes for. We shall see. In a sense, you could argue that, oh, okay, we force out some resources here in the shield batteries. That is true, but Art, he did not really stop too much worker production. So his probing has been decent. And what's also true is the Reapers are still alive. They can still find more value. They can still find more damage. Cloak Banshee. Okay, Hallucination this time gets in, confirms the cloak. Nice scout out of Art. Does confirm the research. From here, Art just waiting until Blink finishes, claiming his own third. I'm curious to see that Percival, he did not cancel Cloak. True, it's still finishing. Still investing into Cloak despite the fact he knows it's been scouted. He might even just join it with the main army. We'll see as the Banshee does move out on the left-hand side and will attempt to distract Art. Tanks are amassing. We have our 3 Raxes. I don't know if you noticed something here, but there is no tech lab on these Raxes. Intentionally so. There's no stim. There's no stim. This does scream 2-base all-in, which I think is the correct thing to do. I think it's the correct call, considering the early game. The Robo is done. We do need some safety Immortals. Banshee's going to be zoned away, but this is keeping Art busy, and the Reapers, they get into the main. And 2 probe kills so far. 3. Yeah, 3, 4 probes. Shield batteries out of energy, getting up to 6. Oh my god! Yeah, 6 probes go down. Very nice damage here with the Reapers. Very nice. And soon, Percival can pull the boys. Now, the Hallucination does confirm the lack of add-ons, so he's seen enough. Art, he knows that an all-in is coming. And we still need some Immortals defensively back at home. He's taking up into the bay. This does feel quite greedy. I don't think Colossus are going to come into play for this defense. Here come the boys. Here comes the all-in. Yeah, I mean, with he's still making more observer. We need Immortals. Yeah, no safety Immortals. That's the 3rd observer. Sorry, that's the 4th observer that is being made. It does seem like the Hallucination Scout didn't quite click in his mind as to how aggressive this was. Now he confirms the all-in. Back at home, do we have enough to defend? Charge is not going to be a factor. Charge is not going to be done. Remember, there's no Immortals. He's got 4 observers. Tanks are getting within range of the natural. They're getting within range of the pylon. Goes to the blink, goes to the dive, gets 1. Gets 1 tank. Banshees do cloak, gets another Banshee. But so many Stalkers are going down. Yeah, they're getting picked up, they're getting punished. 4 Stalkers left. Charge is now done. We have another tank rallying in. And with that, Percival, can he barely break through? It's close. It's still so close. 2 Stalkers left. Yeah, down to 2 Stalkers, and with that, it looks like barely is breaking through. I say that we're bringing 2 Stalkers at a time. Colossus is on the way. Catching up the observers. Sure, I guess. I mean, Art is holding. Art, he's holding on. He's getting on top of the tank with the warpins. Shuts down the tank. He's holding. He's surviving. Este Art. Ooh, now there's no observer. True. Now there's no observer. Banshee gets free damage with GG. GG gets called. The all-in fails, and Art, he survives. We're going to the ace match. Whew. GG, well played. A very shaky defense there from Art. Again, it did look like he didn't quite recognize that an all-in was coming his way. Didn't quite recognize what he had seen across the map. So as a result of that, there were no safety immortals. He had an excess of observers. He was taking up into Colossus. It was a greedy defense there from Art, but did get away with it. Was able to focus on those tanks, was able to pull off the defense, and with that we are getting into the ace match. Let's go. Let us go. Meanwhile, a big shout out to Holy Lime 23. Thank you so much for subscribing with Twitch Prime for 37 months. God, thank you so much. I do appreciate the support. Hope you enjoy the content, hope you enjoy the casting, hope you enjoy the StarCraft. Hope you enjoy. Thank you so much, Pappy, as we're getting into the ace match, getting into game number 3. Whew. Let's go. Let us go. So we're getting into the ace match here, and this can go either way. Of course. We expect to see Percival calm down. I do feel like, of course, Percival, he was forced into an all-in because he did fall behind early on in game number 2 due to the failed proxy through axe. So as we mentioned, Percival, he only had one real option available to him, and it barely didn't quite pan out. We do expect to see a bit of a standard early game this time to not be forced into that kind of decision. But here we go. Here we go, spawning in the top left-hand corner of Ruby Rock. We have the South Korean Terran player. We have the red Terran. It is Percival. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the blue Protoss player, the blue Protoss himself, representing Quasar. It is Art. I've watched this for years, never seen the fake disruptor game into 4 observer builds. Oh no, not like this. I mean, true. Unironically, I think that's the first time I've seen a hallucinated disruptor. Obviously, just to re-emphasize, it was a mistake. Like it was a misclick to make the disruptor instead of a hallucinated Phoenix. But unironically, I don't think I've ever seen hallucinated disruptors before. It's very common to hallucinate air units or hallucinate Colossus that also provide high ground vision. Also just like to bait out shots and bait out attacks. To hallucinate stalkers to also bait attacks. To hallucinate workers to be able to spread out your workers and to scout a little bit more efficiently. But yeah, that's definitely something I haven't seen before. Like this. It's a first. As for the first time this series, double gas. So double gas open out of Percival, going for a faster factory here, so a more tech-heavy start out of our Terran player. Technically, this can turn into a one-base all-in, but we should be seeing factory into CC into fast starport. From there, we can go into an early drop. We can go into early Banshee play, early Raven. There's a lot of options here for Percival. We'll see how he kind of commits into the mid-game. Fake probes are my favorite. Yeah, for sure. I mean, fake workers are actually useful. For those who don't know, when you hallucinate a probe, you actually make 4 workers, 4 probes, and that means you can fan them out, and you can actually scout and cover more ground faster by hallucinating a worker. So you just fan them out and scout for proxies, for example. It is limited by terrain, so it's a scouting option that you have. But of course it won't be useful when it comes to scouting your opponent's main base, but it is useful for scouting for proxies. You also see it used to bait out Widowmine shots. Because you make 4 workers, because you have an excess of workers hallucinated there, then you can kind of bait out more shots. Bait out more mine shots. But here we go. We have our Phoenix across the map. This time a Phoenix, not Disruptor. Does get across the map, and we'll confirm that there is a CC and that we have a 1-1-1 opener. We'll see if we get eyes on the Widow Mine. And does scout. Yep, does scout the mine. Does confirm, is aware of the mine drop. So nice scouting here by Art. Even baits out the mine shot. Back on, we have our Twilight Council. Twilight Council into Blink, and Art mentally should be prepared now for Widow Mines. So here comes a double mine drop. Did he see the add-on? Did see the add-on. So confirming the add-on that was on the way also confirms there was only 2 Widow Mines. So not too committed. Ah, Percival moving out with the Marines as well. Interesting. As we have the drop into the natural. Art, he does react, does pull away. Oh god, Jesus. Ugh. Yeah, Maya just going off. 4 probes go down. A messy defense, messy reaction here by Art. Initially, he wanted to fight the Widowmine. And we'll lose an excess of 2 workers. So 4 probes go down, and both Widowmines survive as well. It does seem like he was invested into more of a main-based defense. The 3rd base is on the way, but a shaky defense here. And and Percival has potential for another drop. He can always drop back in. Back at home, do you see what I see? Viking production. Tanks and Vikings, this looks like a 2-base all-in. So Percival is going for a 2-base all-in. Yep, the boys are being pulled. Why does it look this way? Because Vikings are added DPS as quickly as possible. It's just a way to kind of bolster your army, bolster your damage output while using the starport this early on. Landed Vikings can actually trade very, very well against Stalkers. They do bonus damage to armored units. Okay, within range of the 3rd. And Blink is done in 10 seconds. The boys are here. Shield battery is denied. And sure, Percival, he's within range of the 3rd base, but we need more than just the 3rd. We need the natural. Jumping into the main. 6 probes. Medevac does join in with the main, join up with the main army. Oh no! Nice interception. Very nice, but gets punished. Tank boys going up, getting 2, 3 Stalkers. Oh my, 5, 6! 6 Stalkers go down. That was not worth it. Oh god. The bait. He blinked in to intercept the medevac, but he lost everything in the process. And with that, he's being broken. He's being broken here, and now he lost 6 Stalkers. Ay, ay, ay. Tanks are moving in. And Percival, he's breaking that natural. The Immortal is just too far away. It's too far out. It's being chronoed as we speak. Looks like it will pop out, thankfully, thanks to the 2nd pylon. Tank boys on these Stalkers. Boys are being pulled into the choke point. Does go for the dive. He gets punished, though. Oh my god, massive tank shots. The Immortal is barely going to get away. No, no, it's being hunted down. The landed Vikings, they pop off. They're crazy, Pappy. Especially with the repair. Yeah, they're being repaired. Stalker's being zoned away. GG gets called. The natural is broken, and Percival, he will claim the series 2-1, advancing on to the quarterfinals. GG. Whew. Hi, GG, well played. Congratulations, Percival. He will claim the series. Again, Art, he was doing decently well, just buying time, building up his Stalkers, getting the Immortal out, of course. But again, the blink and the dive on the medevac was punished so hard. 6 Stalkers went down in the process. That was not worth it for Art, and everything just very quickly snowballed out of control. If that hadn't happened, with those 6 extra Stalkers, I believe that I believe that Art would have had a stronger defense to hold the line, to buy time for the Immortal pop out, and maybe even to buy enough time for a 2nd Immortal as well. It would have just been a very different kind of game state. But losing those 6 Stalkers meant that he lost ground, had to pull back to his natural, and pull further back into the mineral line as well. GG. GG, well played. With that, congratulations, Percival. He does advance on into the next round, and I believe we have our next opponent. Oh no.